ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਹੋ ਬੜੀ ਬਦਨਾਮੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੋਰੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੌਲ ਤੇ ਕਰਾਰ ਕਰ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੋਰੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੌਲ ਤੇ ਕਰਾਰ ਕਰ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਚੰਨਾ ਯਾਸੀ ਸੌ ਖਾਦੀ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਨਿਭਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਚੰਨਾ ਯਾਸੀ ਸੌ ਖਾਦੀ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਨਿਭਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਬੜੀ ਬਦਨਾਮੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਸੋਚਾਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਦੀਵਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਹਰ ਪਲ ਬਲਦਾ ਛੇਤੀ ਕਿਤੋਂ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਪਲਦਾ ਸੋਚਾਂ ਵਾਲਾ ਦੀਵਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਹਰ ਪਲ ਬਲਦਾ ਛੇਤੀ ਛੇਤੀ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਕੱਲਦਾ ਸੱਸੀ ਨੇ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਪਾਈ ਸੇਜੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੌਣ ਦੀ ਸੱਸੀ ਨੇ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਪਾਈ ਸੇਜੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੌਣ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਬੜੀ ਬਦਨਾਮੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਸੇਖੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਕਦਰਾਂ ਪਛਾਣੀਆਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਸੇਖੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਕਦਰਾਂ ਪਛਾਣੀਆਂ ਜੱਗ ਨੇ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਦੁੱਖੜੇ ਸੁਣਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਜੱਗ ਨੇ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਦੁੱਖੜੇ ਸੁਣਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਬੜੀ ਬਦਨਾਮੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਆਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਦੇਵੀਂ ਨਾ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੀ
And that, of course, is the sound vocally of Surjit Khan, produced, of course, by Mukhtar Sahota, and that one is Sazaa. And my next guest, of course, is the British music composer and producer with a with an obvious connection to the group the Sahotas. In the final years of school, Mukhtar Sahota and his brothers decided to produce a career in music. They formed a band called the Sahotas, now an iconic band, making 9 albums. Since then, Mukhtar has established a solo career, and he's now released that brand new track, Sazaa, and he joins me on the line now. Welcome to the program, Mukhtar.
Hi, Raees. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Cheers for joining us this Sunday evening. Tell me all about that track. It's a fabulous piece of music. Tell me about where it came from and the story of Sazaa.
Yes, of course, yes. Sazaa, well, I worked with Surjit Khan previously on another 2 tracks before Sazaa. And the first one was Dil Di Kitab. That was a kind of a slow romantic ballad song as well. So I remember when he contacted me and he says, look, he's got a few ideas, that he wants to send my way, and we can sort of like select a song and start working, on something fresh. And Dil Di Kitab was the first one, I chose, and we started working on that, and we were kind of, getting along really well, and creatively as well, it was working out pretty well. So then we went on to the second single, which was Jhanjran, which was more of a dance, sort of a club dance type of track, up-tempo. And again, that was kind of different for Surjit as well, because when I worked on the composition, I tried to bring him out of his comfort zone, because he's a bit of a folk singer, and, he was up for trying new things, and that's how the second single came about. And then the latest one, Sazaa, the one you just heard now, is our latest offering, and again, we try to do something different. My background, I'm quite heavily influenced by reggae music, and I wanted to incorporate that into this song. I thought it went well with the vocals and the whole vibe around the track.
It is a fabulous track. It's got a nice bounce to it, if you don't mind me saying. So, tell me, obviously, clearly the combination of yourself and Surjit is working. So, what is it that you look for in an artist before you decide that you're going to work with them? And what is it that you saw in Surjit that you thought, this is an artist that I want to form a long-term relationship with?
Yeah, I think it's important that an artist is up for having changes made, and bringing them, like I said, bringing them out of their comfort zone. They've got to be up for that for a start, and obviously they've got to be able to have the talent to to be able to do different styles with their vocals and do things that they haven't done before. I think that's quite important to me. Other than that, it's just the creativity has to be there between the whole production team, basically, to pull it off. So those things are really important.
Now, obviously, when anybody hears your name, they're going to think of the Sahotas. Obviously, iconic band, cult status. For those people that have maybe lived under a rock for the past 20 years, just kind of remind us about the Sahotas and tell us a little bit about how that group came about. Yes,
of course. With the Sahotas, it all started from my dad, who was used to be in a band, and they used to do wedding functions and parties and stuff. So when we were little kids, we used to see my dad going off and doing these events, and then coming back home, and all the instruments were lying around, and like the tabla, baja, accordion, and instruments like that. So we were really interested in the whole music thing, and we used to kind of have this fantasy of putting a band together, and we used to talk about it when we were really young, that I'd be playing this instrument and you're going to be the singer and this and the other. But we didn't really know in reality that was going to actually happen, and it's thanks to my dad's influence that got us all into music, and we were all kind of self-taught, really. We kind of picked up instruments and taught ourselves, and and then straight out after school, when we finished school, we produced the first album. We went on the road and we started gigging, and then things just progressed, and we each album followed sort of pretty much every year, and then we started to tour the world and everything as well. So yeah, it was a great time, and it was a great era as well.
It was a great era. It was a great era because there was all of those iconic bands, iconic sounds that were around at that time, including the Sahotas. Obviously, you had people like Sahara, you had people like, I mean, going further back, Alap with, you know, Johnny Singh and Hira and all of that.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, with the music that you're producing now, is very much different, but do you try to kind of keep a bit of that kind of iconic, folky, Punjabi, iconic kind of sound in there? Do you consciously try and keep some of that in, or does it depend from project to project?
I think it depends from project to project, but I do believe it's like every person has their own personality, and you have your own character, and, you know, you can't kind of get away from that, even through music. That always kind of, people can always kind of relate to certain sounds and a certain way I produce the music. You know, you could, I suppose, call it like, you know, my signature sound. Sometimes, you know, I mean, I don't ever think about it too much and think, oh, I have to have my signature sound in there, because I think that's naturally there. You know, so I don't try to steer away from it, so to speak.
So what was it that then made you decide to pursue a solo career then, away from the band?
Yeah, I mean, the solo career came by accident, really, because the thing was, it wasn't planned. The band wanted to have a break because of the kids were, you know, getting older, and they demanded a bit more of the time, because we were touring a lot. Every weekend we were doing shows, parties and weddings and stuff. So there wasn't that much time, you know, spent at home with the families and stuff. And they wanted to have a break, and you know, that break just we never got back together after the break, to be honest.
Life got in the way.
Yeah, and everybody sort of got, you know, their own commitments, and they started doing other things and stuff. And I just carried on. I mean, I've always been passionate about music. It's just something that I just couldn't kind of, you know, let go of, and, you know.
Well, you know, I mean, we've had all these bands come back together again, and we've had, you know, Spandau Ballet and Jhanjran and God knows who else. Maybe it's time. Maybe, you know, the Sahotas should maybe do something. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I always say never, you know, and at the end of the day, it's about, you know, getting it all back together again, and you know, it's a huge task in itself as well, because it's not something that happens overnight, because there's so much involved in a band. You know, you have to get back into rehearsals. There's all the rehearsals, the live set. You know, getting ready for the tours and stuff like that. So there's a lot involved, and you know, like I says, you know, I'm always open to the idea.
So, what would you say about kind of when you look back on those days with the band, and now obviously you're kind of a one man show at the moment now. You do everything. Do you look back and think, you know what, it was a little bit easier when I had people around me? Now I've got to do everything myself. Well,
as far as the music production goes, that hasn't changed, because I used to do that on my own anyway. And me and Saj Sahota, he's the lead singer. You know, we used to work together on the vocal, the creative side. But majority of the music I used to produce back in the day as well. So that hasn't changed. But is on the live circuit, obviously, the rest of the boys would join in on the live circuit. So that hasn't really changed at all.
So what have we got coming up then? Well, first of all, actually, before you answer that, how has Sazaa been received at the moment then?
It's had a fantastic response, really. I mean, you know, all around the world, to be honest, because I'm getting so many messages and reports and stuff from even from the video and stuff as well. The video director has been giving me the feedback on what's happening in India and stuff as well. So it's been picked up really well, especially, I think, you know, the vibe of the track. I think that's what people are really clicking onto. To be honest, I think it's clicked really well.
Fantastic. So, what is in the pipeline then? What can we look forward to?
In the pipeline, I've got quite a few movie projects that I'm doing at the moment. There's Punjabi movies and a few Hindi movies as well. And then alongside that, I think pretty much every sort of 3 weeks to a month, there should be a single release as well. So there's new artists that I'm launching as well as some established artists as well.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to all of that. Thank you so much for joining us. I think hopefully we're going to try and get you on our Saturday night show on Radio Lancashire as well, so we can have a bit of a longer chat with you. But we will work on that and get you booked in for that. But in the meanwhile, though, good luck with the rest of the promotion with Sazaa, and I hope everything goes really well for you. And hopefully we'll speak to you again soon, Mukhtar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. The iconic Mukhtar Sahota there with his brand new track Sazaa, which is out now. We're going to